You mentioned California wouldn't be possible without these water projects. Can you tell us more?
There's a quote from a guy named, an author actually, named Hinton Helper, who was from North Carolina. In 1855, Hinton Helper came out to California. We had just become a state. In 1850, California became a state. Had the gold rush going on, 1849. And there was all this hype in the rest of the country about California, this land of gold. So he came out and he spent a couple of years traveling the state, going to every little community and actually counting how many buildings and what the economic value was and what the economic potential was of this new state in the Union. And he wrote articles, and when he got back to North Carolina, he compiled these articles into a book called California Gold, Fact or Fiction. And in his book, he says, balancing resource against defect and comparing territory with territory, California is the poorest state in the Union. Other than some interesting metal, her valleys will grow sufficient breadstuffs to support sparse populations. Now that is what California looked like to him in 1855. And obviously it is dramatically different from the California that we experience today. And what made the difference? What made the California we see today grow out of the California he saw 175 years ago? And there's one thing that made that happen, besides phenomenal people, but it was moving water around. Moving water from areas of abundance to areas of need, and literally causing the desert to bloom. So that system formed the foundation of building the state of California. And without it, and this is something we don't pay a lot of attention to, but if we don't take care of it, it has an impact on who we are and what we are. And so water and its manipulation is critical to making California what it is and to keeping it sustainable for the long term.
So moving water from Northern California to Southern California.
Yeah, 2/3 or more of the water falls in the northern 40% of the state. But the population and a huge amount of agriculture is in the southern part of the state. So there's a mismatch between the water where it falls and where the demands are to sustain what we built here. So there needs to be a infrastructure to move that water around, and there is. I mean, Southern California has basically 3 straws that it draws water from. There's the Los Angeles Aqueduct from the Eastern Sierra. There's the Colorado River Aqueduct from the Colorado River, and then there's the State Water Project, which comes from Northern California.